or missing, and a couple of generals as well. There's scientists that have gotten whacked and or missing, and a couple of generals as well. That's all connected somehow or another to UFO technology and anti-gravity technology and nuclear scientists. There's a bunch of stories that I've read about this, and some of them are like, this is like purely exaggerated, but it's just coincidence.
Right.
And then there's other people that go, no, there's too many people. Now the White House has commented on it, so they're doing an investigation on this. There's scientists that have gotten whacked and or missing, and
This is mind-boggling, y'all. However, we got some answers to what's going on. And actually, it's about 13 to 15 scientists now unalived. That's right. A father and son just died in a plane crash. And all of the rest of the scientists have similar stories. They all wandered off, left their cell phone at home, and they either were found unalived or it was some type of self-inflicted wound. Most of the time it's self-inflicted gunshots. I think I know what's going on. And I'm actually prone to believe that these scientists are probably underground somewhere. I do not believe that they're all unalived. However, I do believe that there's a reason why they are missing. I believe there's a reason why they're missing. And we got to chop it up about this one, y'all, because these scientists were studying different things. You know, some of them were studying advanced propulsion, which is anti-gravity. Some was studying plasma energy, asteroid defense. We got NASA deep space life detection systems, astrophysics, and tracking systems. I got names for each person. So each person was literally studying these things that I'm listing. So it's a lot of different facets of science. You got nuclear national security research. This is interesting. And I'm going to let y'all in on something that some of you all are going to be kind of taken back by, and some of you all are already going to know in this confirmation. What they're finding out right now is absolutely amazing. And it has to do with God's chosen people. Oh, yeah, it definitely does. And I'm going to be talking about that. We're going to be definitely bringing nothing but the truth. You know how we do it. As you enter the broadcast, y'all make sure you get the likes up, because this is going to be an interesting ride here, y'all. But y'all know how we do it. Let's get to it.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love. They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repented. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Peace and blessings to the chat. I see Ray in the building. What's going on? Set Apart is in the house. Geraldo, what's going on? Jay Sunshine is in the building. It is good to have y'all. It's great to be amongst the like-minded. There's a lot going on in the news, but the most intriguing story right now in news media is the 14 scientists who have been mysteriously unalived. Now, first and foremost, I don't know how many coincidences, and I put that in quotations, that we're supposed to just ignore before we start calling it what it is. And really, it's just warning signs. It's red flags. In a lot of these cases with these missing scientists, there's a lot of synchronicities. And then you got a lot of rising tension still continuing in Iran. Drug policies that's been in place for decades now have now shifted, and they're more so pushing psychedelics on the public. They just reclassified marijuana. And listen, when I tell you all of this stuff is connected, it's all connected. The missing scientists, the psychedelics being pushed on the people, marijuana being reclassified, and the war, all of it is connected. Now, I'm going to be dropping a lot of truth bombs, so I want everybody to get the likes up. We're going to cook with this one. What's going on right now is a major shift, and I've been talking about this for some months now, but I want to get into a little bit of more grave detail. I want to say this. Brothers and sisters, we are more powerful than the government. We're more powerful than the government. They operate on our energy. They rely on energy harvesting to stay in power. They rely on our ignorance to remain on top. And what's really happening is the chosen ones, those who have accepted Christ as the scriptures have written, those who have survived the MK Ultra, the mind control, the programming, those who chose to be set apart, those who still have the VMAT2 gene, the God particle in their mind, those who still have a soul when they look in the mirror. What a lot of these scientists are finding out is we are what you would call ultra terrestrials. Now, you've heard of extraterrestrials, and they're using that as the cover story as if they're trying to hide the existence of aliens, which those aliens are demons. We are what you consider ultra terrestrial, neurodivergent beings. That's what we are. And although all this war been waged against us, we are still strong as ever. And, you know, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that some of us may not be aware of. However, knowledge is increasing. The Bible prophesied that knowledge will increase. Now, we're going to get into it, man. These missing scientists, we got to talk about this. This has been going on all over the news. And we got to get into
a couple of generals.
All right, here we go, y'all. Number 13, to the scientists that are either disappeared or found deceased. 29-year-old Joshua LeBlanc was a NASA nuclear engineer. Now, he disappeared back in 2025, but was later found burnt beyond recognition in his Tesla. Now, along with a lot of other scientists that have been missing or found deceased, he also left his phone and his wallet at home. Now, I found out some very interesting information about Amy Eskridge that might tie all of this together, but I've got a few more things to look up. I'm gonna do a video about it later today, but it's wild, guys. It's crazy, and I think this is absolutely something that's part of an even bigger plan to silence the American people.
It is. She's correct. It is part of a bigger plan to silence the American people. But the real battle is against ultra-terrestrials, such as ourselves. We have mastered pattern recognition. We are very special people. This is the reason why they try to label us ADD, attention deficit disorder. It seemed like we was withdrawn, but we actually have hyper focus. We just don't see the world the way they see it. And the truth is, scientists are linking a lot of things together right now, particularly with melanin. Also, not only that, and real spiritual beings. It's not just linked to melanin. Gentiles who are in the truth, they also have the God particle, the VMAT2. And this is something that they've been trying to warp and distort for a number of years, ever since 2020. Ever since 2020, they've been trying to pretty much stop the ultra-terrestrial beings, which is us. And what's going on with these scientists is they're seeing a lot of atmospheric changes. And the things that they know, I personally believe a lot of them have to be hidden from the public. They cannot say certain things that they know. And a lot of them more than likely are in underground labs. They all left with no cell phone. The pattern is just too the same. It's just too much secrecy. This is more organized than we think. Thank you for the support, Los the Truth. I appreciate it. And we're going to talk about this because it's getting real out here.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the government is taking out scientists in order to prepare for their ultimate alien disclosure plans? And wouldn't it be crazy that the day before David Wilcock allegedly took his own life, even though he has said multiple times that he is not, shmoo scheidel.
Yeah, David Wilcock been dropping a lot of truth. He's been saying a lot of things. We're going to evaluate some of the things he said. And there's other scientists sprinkled in there that did say some things on social media for the record. And then we're going to understand why they're either unalived or missing. And, this David guy, David Wilcock recently said he was not ready to self-delete. And he personally brung up the missing scientist. 24 hours later, he was dead from what they say self-inflicted gunshots. Let's go.
He found out that his biographer, Winfrey, passed away the day before on a live stream. Wouldn't it be crazy if they just found out that a NASA nuclear engineer was found burned in his Tesla after vanishing? Another one. And then, of course, we have Amy Eskridge. Let's look at what some of the text messages she sent before her death. I've been getting death threats every day repeatedly for the past week. They melted the window blinds, whatever it was, atomized the plastic in the blinds were made of. There's what appears to be radiation burns on her hands. Lines up perfectly with her keyboard. Weird. Wouldn't it be crazy if the government...
Yep. Now, some of these people were just completely taken out. And I'm telling you why. You got to think of it like this. When you have people who are connected with a lot of sensitive research, that can show up with troubling headlines because these people have the degrees, they have the paperwork, they have all of the credentials to create what the government will classify as dangerous headlines. And it raises a lot of uncomfortable questions, the things that they know. And we're talking about some new discoveries with dolphins. Man, the rabbit hole goes deep. You know, dolphins are very interesting creatures. And we'll talk about that another time, but different technologies, you know, there's a lot of things that these people know, and they can actually verify. And there's also things they've been studying about anatomy, the human mind, and what's going on in the atmosphere. But it's getting very interesting, y'all.
Yeah, this one right here, it don't sit right. There's actual video proof of her saying things before she ultimately died. This scientist who was working on anti-gravity research said that she felt like her life was in danger. And her name was Amy Eskridge. She worked around advanced aerospace concepts, some shit that people don't hear on a regular. Have you heard about that? I never heard about it, but it sounds like some crazy shit. She had videos, she had interviews, and she talked about her being threatened. And she also talked about if something ever happened to her, it wasn't by her. It wasn't by choice. She wouldn't do it to herself. She wouldn't do nothing that would jeopardize her or her freedom. And then weeks later, she's found dead. The authorities already ruled this a suicide. But I'm just like, she told us she wasn't suicidal. Why does it always end in suicide? Now you got people going back watching her videos. And there was one video she talked about a man that used to sit outside her home. And one day her and her husband or her boyfriend went to go take pictures of the license plates. And the man ended up switching them. And he said he got more where that came from. This shit is crazy. Go watch it. But with that being said, it makes you question everything. What's real, what's not. And how do y'all feel about this?
See, the truth is a lot of these scientists, including Amy, as well as Mr. Wilkoff, we are very close to ascension. And don't think that I'm throwing out new age terms right here. No, I'm talking about scientifically. We are close to ascension phase. And what I mean by that is there's coming a time where we're going to feel reality for what it really is. And our spiritual sensitivity has heightened to a level that's unprecedented. And it's because we're in the final days. And I meant to say Wilcox. Yeah, Mr. Wilcox. And they know it. The scientists know it. And listen, now what they're trying to do, I want to read some scriptures here so we can understand what's going on and why these people are missing. Luke 21:25 says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming to the earth. So what you got to understand is they're seeing the signs in the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars. They're studying what's going on, and they know that we're reaching a boiling point. We're reaching a boiling point here on this earth. Something has to give, right? And also, when you go to the scriptures, it also tells us in Daniel 2:21, it says, and he changes the times and seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. So you see in these systematic shifts, power transitions, rulings are changing. Those things have always went, but the Most High is in control of everything. But now that science can actually prove everything that the scriptures is validating, that's why they ended up missing. And they're trying to tell you that they're looking for them and that the FBI is investigating what happened to them. No, don't believe that. One of these corporations is the reason they're missing in the first place, or one of these organizations, these groups.
All right, so everyone's saying David Wilcox, this man right here, is now dead. But something's just not adding up. There was a death investigation in Colorado, but officials haven't even confirmed who it is yet. No family, no statements, there's no proof, just a lot of rumors spreading like crazy. So is this real? Or is the internet running a whole nother story before the truth comes out? As usual. Let me know your thoughts on this man, David Wilcock, because this story just isn't adding up every time I look on social media.
Yep. Yeah, none of it really adds up. But what we got to understand is they got a lot to hide. You know, they got a lot to hide. You know, when you look at what's going on, these scientists were all in different fields, but the same thing happened to them. It's something organized. It's something organized, like some real live Men in Black type of stuff is going on, where they just had to be removed.
Is this why they murdered David Wilcock? I mean, why he committed suicide?
The DS is very, very adamantly fighting to prevent you from learning about extraterrestrials. That's the last thing they want you to know about. They want you to be afraid. They want you to see them as gods, to see them as authority figures. The last thing they want is for you to understand there's a higher power that answers Christianity, answers Islam, answers Buddhism, answers Hinduism. It pays off all of these ancient teachings that we've inherited that often become religions.
The deep state doesn't want you to know the truth about extraterrestrials and...
Now, hear what he just said. These extraterrestrials are actually fallen angels. And what he's saying is these fallen angels are all connected to a religion. That's what he just said. That means paganism, Islam, all of these ancient deities, what they call extraterrestrials. He's saying that they all connected to religions. That's key what he just said. That also validates the Bible. And yes, they don't want you to know that because they want you to believe the false religions. They want you to be divided. They don't want you to understand your true power. They don't want you to understand true history either. I'm telling you.
Aliens, but the president of the United States in February said that he's directing all agencies to release all of those related files, and then all of these UFO researchers and scientists end up. You have to wonder if the information you're going to be getting is not all of it, kind of like some other files. Now, no one's really around to tell you otherwise. As always, let me know what you think about all of this.
That is a lot of missing scientists. And now the White House is getting involved. Fox News has announced it. Trump claims that they're going to send the FBI to investigate what's going on because even Donald Trump says, well, this is not normal. He doesn't know what's going on. This is what he claims. Let's go.
Right now, the White House says it is looking into the mysterious string of disappearances and deaths of at least 10 high-profile American scientists. Now, many of them tasked with studying UFOs or nuclear research. All of them have either died or mysteriously vanished, dating back to mid-2023. Right now, the White House says it is looking into the mysterious.
So this has been going on for a couple of years, and this is just an inordinate amount of scientists. And I'm going to tell you, the scriptures tell us, and we can go to second Esdras 9:1. Measure thou time diligently in itself. And when thou seest parts of the signs pass, then shalt thou understand. See, we are witnessing the red flags. We are seeing it. It says, measure thou time diligently. That means we're supposed to remain watchful and look at what's going on with these phenomenons. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, then thou shalt understand. That's why we're beginning to really wake up and understanding. We're literally awakening right now. The truth is stranger than fiction. The truth is stranger than fiction, y'all.
I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but since they said they're going to release the UFO files, there's been an absurd amount of high up government or just private sector scientists that study outer space and UFOs that have disappeared. Pretty wild stuff. So we got all this information. We got the Uncle Jeff files. We got the, Kim Kardashian taking Selena and Justin's baby files. Now we got the UFO files. With all these good people who have been studying outer space, doing all this stuff, now they're just missing. Why? I think it's because they have a plan for what their message is going to be, and it's deceitful, and they don't want anyone or anything getting in the middle of that. I don't know if you guys have heard about this.
Yeah, they're discovering a lot. And mind you, all of these scientists was not just studying UFOs, but that is becoming the cover story. They were studying a great deal of everything. Anti-gravity, and also some of these scientists was debunking a lot of lies that we were told, such as that fake moon landing. So there's a lot of what we would call convolution or corruption going on in NASA and other programs as well. But they're hiding the truth. And the truth is, us, God's people, we're the ones that are the real guinea pigs. We're the real guinea pigs being studied. And we are changing the frequency of the entire earth. This is why God's people have become such a threat. Christ believers, those who actually can see, those who actually have kept their souls, we're problematic. Yeah, they are afraid of the neurodivergent beings. That's what's going on right now. And so there's a lot of desperation. The government is just full of witches and warlocks at the end of the day who feed off of our energy. And when our energy is stronger than theirs and they cannot conquer our energy is unmatched. They're studying frequencies. They're studying the energy. They're studying atmospheric changes. They're studying the mind. They're studying the spirit. They're studying consciousness. It ain't just UFOs. I listed a lot of the things, and each scientist was linked to something different. It just so happens it all connects. And that's what they don't want us to know. And it all reverts back to this grand battle against good and evil. That's really what it is. That's really what it boils down to.
Someone is all of our scientists. This is now the 11th person who is a distinguished scientist who magically disappears into the night. And nobody knows why. Even our president. But apparently anti-gravity research, propulsion experts, biologists, some of the greatest scientists that America has are just dropping.
Yep, they were studying plasma. So if anybody donated any plasma, they can tell a lot about your DNA. They can tell a lot about your sequences and your genetic codes. They were studying these people were studying everything. So broaden your horizons. They were seeing things that they could not believe coming from God's people. They were seeing things that were utterly remarkable about the quote unquote chosen ones. Make no mistake about that. Let's continue.
So Michael David Hicks was part of the team helping NASA understand comets and asteroids. That's concerning, considering an asteroid would kill us if it hits us. Monica Reza disappeared last year. You have William McCasland. He's a retired Air Force general. She confirmed that he is associated with the UFO community. Well, all of our most intelligent people are magically disappearing for reasons we can't explain. Someone is all of our scientists. This is
Yeah, because once everything is documented in paperwork, and once the science hit the history books, we just all validated. We're all validated in what's true. It looks, the book of Sirach tells us. Matter of fact, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon first. Wisdom of Solomon 17:1. It says, "Great are thy judgments. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred." So the reason why they're doing what they're doing is because these are unnurtured souls and they're troubled. They're full of confusion and blindness. And that's among the rulers of our people. They're full of fear and anxiety. Remember, the scriptures say that the chosen ones would stand bold and the world would be afraid of that. Leadership would marvel and be fearful because of our boldness.
David Wilcock, he knew the truth about black people. He understood that there was a metaphysical symbiotic connection between black people's DNA and how it's able to interface with these ultra-terrestrials who are interdimensional, outer-dimensional, extraterrestrial entities that come from a different star system, which are basically the same entities that the 12 scientists were also talking about, the ones that came up missing. So there's a metaphysical connection to everything that's taking place when it comes to the unaliving of David Wilcock and the 12 scientists missing. Now, here's a video back from 2012 where David Wilcock said verbatim that he will be unalived for putting out information talking about Simeon Toko, a man who had the abilities of Jesus, a man from Africa. And he said that he will be unalived for putting out this information inside of his book.
The crazy story that I heard, which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. And I ended up putting it in the book anyway. The story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and split up his body into a whole bunch of pieces. These very like radioactive shielded containers, and then all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to the rest of the world. And then these containers turn them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices.
Now, when you get into the esoterics and the conspiracy of it, David Wilcock, he died on 4/20 at age 53. So from April 20th all the way up until the time of June 12th of 2026, that's 53 days apart exactly. And that's when the movie Disclosure Day comes out on June 12th. So from June 12th all the way back to April 20th is exactly 53 days apart, and David Wilcock was unalived at age 53. There's an esoteric connection with that. And then when you look at the movie cover of Disclosure Day, it's the same deer that was on Leave the World Behind. So there's a metaphysical connection with that. David Wilcock, he knew the truth about black people.
So look, now we got to unpack this. We got to unpack this. See, what the world powers is hiding is the real X-Men. That's what they're hiding. They're hiding the fact that we could actually, now when I say this, I don't want to sound crazy when I say this, because let's get to the story what Wilcock was telling. He was talking about a story of a black man who was cut into pieces, burnt into ashes, and this man was able, they couldn't kill him. Basically, he was immortal. Now, the scientist is saying this. A scientist is saying that this happened. Now, none of us was there to see it. None of us was there to see it. However, watch this, y'all. Watch this. Listen to me now. How many of us was there to see Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego get burnt alive and come out of the other end? But we know biblically it happened. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. What if, ladies and gentlemen, that we can tap into our faith to the point where we could actually be unstoppable? Now, follow me here. Follow me here. Hear me out now. In the Bible, it says, I show you a mystery that everyone is not translated. He says, I show you a mystery. That means everyone won't face death. So is it possible that with faith and our actual kinetic energy, that we are actually subhuman? We are actually ultra-terrestrials living this matrix experience, but we really have powers beyond what the world can actually control, even powers to even kill us. What if we can survive death? Now, I'm not saying any of us are there yet, but the possibilities, when you have a scientist that has the credentials tell you, hey, look, they'll kill me if I tell you this, but there was a black man, he was a king, the government kept trying to assassinate him, they couldn't, they cut his body up, he was still alive. Listen, the Holy Bible is still being written. There's just there's a Bible being written right now of what's going on right now. When Christ returned and he rules for 1,000 years, there's going to be other books that's recorded and documented, giving the same testimonies that we talk about now. The things that we're seeing now, we're living it. Man, come on, man. I know y'all hearing what I'm saying. Now, everything they told us is a lie. And we have way more power than we think we do. Way more power. Way more power. And when you think about some of the stories biblically, you cannot X out what this scientist said. The ability to even time travel or go through portals. The ability to, go through organic portals. That's in the Bible. So they don't want us to know we real live X-Men out here and that we're more powerful than them if we tap into our God. They don't want us to know the truth. So these scientists was getting unalive or hidden. I'm just saying, this is what I personally believe, y'all. I think that has a great deal to do with what's going on out here.
All right, y'all laughing, but nobody's asking the real questions. If this is fake, why would he or the water ever be under investigation? Like, let's think about it. Dolphins ain't just cute little sea animals. They have bigger brains than humans relative to body size. They literally recognize themselves in the mirrors and got names for themselves. They literally talk in frequency. Like, don't even have to really do much and they can understand as one. You ever notice dolphins are always smiling? That's not happiness. That's that they know something we don't. And let's not forget, all these service people and regular people saying how dolphins helped them, but they can also be aggressive.
And I don't know if y'all know this, but they deemed it illegal to talk to dolphins. Yes, the U.S. government deems it illegal to talk to dolphins. Like, what is that about? What is that about? Are they afraid that we're going to connect with a species that we are above and we'll learn how to tap into a part of our mind that we're not supposed to know? Is that possible? I mean, at the beginning, we were given dominion over the animals. If the dolphins talk in frequencies, could it be possible that we will learn how to talk in frequencies and science and the government is trying to hide it? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. What are they hiding from us? Kingdom Mind, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. They hiding something. If we were given dominion over the animals, and it's illegal to talk to dolphins, and we know dolphins speak through frequency. They make sounds, but they speak through frequency. And these dolphins have these huge brains with this mental capacity. Then what the hell is going on? We're going to go to jail for trying to talk to dolphins? What the hell is going on? Why y'all don't want us to even communicate with dolphins? Because they know that eventually, if we spend enough time around these creatures, we may learn something. We may learn something about our minds. We may learn something about ourselves that we ain't supposed to know. Some of y'all in the chat, y'all think it's a game. But I'm dead serious. And also the frequencies do heal people. We may find out how to heal all kind of ailments, all kind of diseases, just being around dolphins. Let's go.
Strategic. It's almost like military level because we use them. Now imagine a dolphin becoming so much self-aware, it starts observing us.
Yeah, you're not supposed to touch or talk to dolphins.
And connecting dots. Sort of like AI, kinda. But yeah, that's Gerald. But he's fake as they keep the investigations going on. It literally ain't about Gerald being dangerous. It's literally dolphins knowing more than we do. They know too much. Google this after you watch. Do dolphins have names for each other? Let me know. Alright, y'all.
I'm telling you.
I would want the world to know about ascension. I would want the world to know that we are very, very close. And all the people on the inside know this. This is the key of disclosure. We are very close to some sort of energetic shift that the sun is going to do.
We're very close to ascension. We're very close to an energetic shift that the sun is going to do. So if the sun is going to cause an energetic shift that's going to change behavior on people, of course, the people of the sun, the melanated people who are connected, are going to change. They're going to go through a metamorphosis. Did you hear him say, did you hear what Wilcox said? That all of the insiders know that there's people close to ascension. They all know.
There's been multiple experiments, I've heard this from several insiders, in which they take ordinary folks and they put them into a room and they zap them with the energy that our sun is going to give off when we go through this change and become.
They zap them with the energy that the sun is going to give off. When that change happens, that means they tune up the frequency that the sun is going to give, and they zap people with this. Now watch this.
Very blissed out. They start to get really telepathic.
They get blissed out, meaning they get extra blissful, and they get telepathic. Let's go.
They can move things with their mind.
They can move things with their mind.
Everybody kind of goes into a psychedelic trip.
They go into a psychedelic trip. Now here we go. Now, all of a sudden, Trump is legalizing psychedelics. And the psychedelics is actually to counteract the awakening, the shift that's going on. That's what's really happening. Trump is reclassifying marijuana, trying to drug everybody up to calcify the pineal gland, to convolute the pineal gland so we cannot tap into this energy. That's what's happening right now. We're not supposed to tap into that type of energy. And I'm telling you, what he's saying has some scientific relevance. Whether you want to believe it or not, these people end up missing or dead, unalived, whatever. Perhaps murdered because of the things they're saying and the things that they're going to, not only they're not just saying things, they can actually verify these things. That makes them dangerous. So now they want everybody on LSD and marijuana and THC to actually do the opposite. Have it so we, put us on different drugs so we cannot tap in. They want to disconnect our spirits from our bodies. Let's go.
Our government knows that this is going to happen. Where
The government knows it's going to happen.
there's no veil left, where we are wide open to reality.
There's no veil left before we're wide open to reality. It's what David Wilcock said. Meaning, all of that discernment that we've been talking about as of late, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start seeing things. We're going to start hearing things. We're going to start comprehending things that we never comprehended. That's why the scriptures say knowledge will increase in these days. The chosen ones will increase in wisdom and knowledge. There will be a mass awakening. And it's already happening. Like, they can't hide nothing from us nowadays. They playing with the people, claiming the FBI is researching. But look how we're understanding what's going on, debunking these liars.
UFO-linked scientists who warned my life is in danger, found dead at 34, becoming the 11th mysterious case. Tell y'all something. Look, scientists, hear me when I say this. We know aliens real. We know they got cars. We don't really know what they is. We don't know if they angels, demons, extraterrestrial. We don't give a fuck, but we know they there. Y'all getting killed by shit we already know. Or if you want to tell us, guess what? Go live. Why would you go tell them, hey, I found this study. What? Come tell us. Y'all not understand how crazy that is. 11 scientists have mysteriously popped up dead, and we ain't talking about that shit at all, because we saying it's a distraction against the files. This some more files. This the X files. This the alien files. This because that exists don't mean this don't. So many people lost their life because of the fucking alien shit, and people still think it's a theory. So tell me this, y'all. Y'all really think we the only created beings? Out of all this vastness, we ain't the only creatures on our own damn planet. We don't even know what's all in.
Now, that's true. The aliens, most of the aliens are underwater. You know, that's the part they're not telling you. Most of the aliens are off in them damn woods or underwater. Because ain't nothing coming through that firmament. Ain't nothing coming through that firmament that's over the earth. They're coming from underneath. That's where these damn aliens are coming from. And make no mistake about it, the aliens are real, but that's not really what they worried about. That's the cover story. Now they're covering that up too, but that's the main thing people are pushing. But them scientists was researching everything about everybody. They wasn't just researching aliens, but yeah, they're going to cover that up too, because they don't want us to find out that these aliens are fallen angels that control world's religions. They don't want us to find that out. They don't want us to know that part. But let's go.
The water. But you don't think aliens real? Are you out your goddamn rabbit ass mind? UFO disclosure may split religious communities, with far-right Christians calling them demons. A lot of Christians don't want to accept that God made other things other than Adam and Eve and they bald head ass. They ain't gonna know what to do with this shit. Y'all believe everything King James put in that book, don't y'all? Yeah, shake your head like this. Yes, you do. You think that is it.
Well, she don't know that aliens are in the Bible too. You know, that's the thing. You know, a lot of people haven't really thoroughly read the Bible and all the extra biblical text, but they're in there. Yeah, and they are demons. That's what they are. So, they're talking about causing a religious split with this information coming out. The far right, the Republicans are not worried about that part. They're worrying about us finding out that they're being controlled by these entities. They're being controlled by these entities. And they want to make it seem like they're the supreme rulers and we should be afraid of them. When really, Esau is being ruled by these aliens. To be quite frank with you, that's who's giving them their technology. Let's go.
We all know that if you don't tell the full truth, it's a lie. If it's only got 66 books and the original got 88, then what is it if it's not complete? All right. So with that being said, back to the science.
That's why you got to read the complete book. Get you the Apocrypha, which was in the original. I read from the Apocrypha all the time. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I respect a lot of people in the conscious community, but don't throw the scriptures away because you don't understand everything fully. You cannot really call yourself a scholar unless you know that Bible too. Any real historian and scholar know the historical relevance of the Bible. But let's go.
Y'all ain't got to keep telling us stuff. We know they real. All right. Find us something else, like find us some anti-alien places we can live in, or try to see if the aliens fuck with us and we can work together. You know what I'm saying? Call me back. UFO.
Nah, them aliens just want to experiment on people, honestly.
We have some news right now. An 11th scientist has now been confirmed dead amid a string of dead or missing scientists over the past several years. The latest death to be linked to the others, her name is Amy Eskridge. She died in 2022 at the age of 34 years old. She's now being cited as the 11th case linked to deaths in advanced research fields over the past many years, and the White House is investigating it. Remember, why are these scientists missing? Why have some died? News Nation has confirmed that this is a possible 11th case. Now, President Trump has said that he's looking into, and even has had White House meetings over why or what the cause of these deaths are. And there's growing concern that it could be potentially a foreign adversary of sorts, taking out scientists here in the United States of America. And these scientists have access to critical details and information classified.
Nah, listen, it ain't no foreign threat that's taking out these scientists. Whoever's taking out these scientists are right here in America. They're right here in America. Let's be very clear about that.
Information. Some have information regarding aerospace programs, nuclear programs, and more. I'll have more updates for you soon. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news you need.
Guys, the FBI, the Pentagon, the White House, and Congress are all investigating the same exact thing. There are multiple different scientists that are directly connected to NASA and America's most classified programs that keep on going missing, and the details are insane. A NASA rocket scientist co-invented a classified metal for rocket engines that was designed to end America's dependence on Russian rockets. This was Monica Reza, and she just randomly vanished on a hike in California, and she has not been found. A 34-year-old scientist was working on zero-point energy, which is basically the idea of producing unlimited free energy that would never run out. Guys, she literally texted a friend and she said, if you see any report that I did this myself, I most definitely did not.
See, they didn't want you to know that energy is free and energy is endless. That's why she got wiped out. They want to be able to capitalize off of energy. I believe that's why Amy got wiped out. And she's not the only scientist that got killed because of that. There's several what you would call minority scientists that got wiped out for discovering the exact same thing. She's not the first one. She's not the first person to discover how to create free energy. Free endless energy. But see, that threatens somebody's pockets. That threatens somebody's pockets. But let's go.
Her name was Amy Eskridge, and she was gone a month later. An Air Force general ran the base where people believe that the U.S. government stored wreckage from a UFO that crashed in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. And a congressman actually tried to reach him about UFOs 2 different times before he just randomly vanished. Hello? And happening on Kalshi right now, $15 million is riding on whether the government is going to confirm that aliens exist before 2027. I am absolutely staying on this story, so make sure you go ahead and add me now because I'm going to keep you updated. Guys,
and I'm going to tell you, they're going to do a big rollout on this whole alien secrecy thing. And you know, we're not going to learn much from it that we didn't already know from the movies that they put out there through predictive programming, you know, movies like Independence Day and so on and so forth. They're giving us this big build up with this alien thing. We already know aliens exist. You know, the Bible talks about its chariots being in the sky, you know, AKA flying saucers and UFOs and things like that. It's all in the scriptures, y'all. It's all in there. So it's nothing new. But see, they're going to use the alien thing to distract us from what's going on with those other files and what's going on with these world leaders. They're using that as a distraction. Make no mistake about it. They definitely are.
2 more scientists have just died in a private plane crash, a father and a son who both worked with NASA, making it number 14 and 15 in the growing number of scientists who are vanishing or who are being found dead. This plane crash didn't just kill both of them, but it killed the entire family along with the pilot. This happened in South Carolina and for reasons unknown. So authorities say this investigation is expected to take about a year, but I'm just wondering what's going on. What do they know that we don't? Why are they being taken out? And no, it's not this.
Hopefully, I don't know, coincidence, whatever you want to call it.
Let me know what you guys think. 2 more scientists have just died in a private.
Trump talking about, I don't know, maybe coincidence. No, not at all. Now we at number 14 and 15 killed in a plane crash. It ain't no such thing as coincidence. All these scientists ain't just dropping dead, man, for no reason. You know, Ezekiel 33:6 says, if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, the blood on our hands. And so, you know, we can see the signs. That's why we're warning the people. Because these are red flags when they start taking out their scientists. There's something that's been proven that they don't want you and I to see. Simple as that. That's the only reason these scientists are getting wiped out. There's something that they knew that you and I are not supposed to know, y'all. We're not supposed to know. It's really that simple.
Want to hear something crazy? You know how people use the term spiritual psychosis? Well, psychosis is a single word. They just threw the term spiritual in front of it. What if everybody is in psychosis who are not spiritual? Because to be in psychosis is to be disconnected from reality. And if you are living in the matrix and you are literally running off of what the society has taught you since you've been born, that is psychosis. Yep. Everybody is in psychosis. Everybody is asleep.
Except for the remnant. Except for the ultra-terrestrials. Except for God's chosen people. Except for those who can see. But the mass majority are in a psychosis. And they're trying to figure out how to get everybody else in a psychosis. I'm telling you. Somebody said high vibrational psychosis versus low vibrational psychosis. Yep. Absolutely retain the gains. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because this matrix is really just an alternative universe at the end of the day. This is all temporary. This is all temporary. This is almost like our lives is just a test. It's an illusion. It's not the real life. The afterlife, what they call the afterlife, is actually the real life because that's eternal. I'm telling you.
Everybody is programmed. Everybody is disconnected from reality and plugged in electronically. Oh, get their ass.
Yep. Definitely plugged in electronically.
You are not supposed to know this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. These scientists, not really missing, not really dead, probably underground somewhere. I find it really weird. Every time they ask the president about some serious shit, he don't know nothing. He said, I hope it ain't random. That's your answer? You supposed to be the president. You should know about this kind of shit, especially when it comes to scientists that's dealing with UFOs and nuclear. Y'all wanted to go get Iran because they were dealing with nuclear weapons, so you should know about scientists that's dealing with UFOs and nuclear material. It seemed like every year they come out with a new UFO story. They're coming, they're not coming. We had drones in the sky, then the drones go away and the story go away. Now, more stories about UFO scientists. They are underground. So what are they hiding from the American public? Really simple. These UFOs are not fallen angels. They're not demons. They're not angels. They are really interdimensional beings, meaning they can enter our reality and leave anytime they want. You know, they come and fuck up our world, then go back to their world. As
that would be a demon.
As above, so below. If we have scientists on the ground, we have scientists underground, and they work with these interdimensional beings. But what are they studying? They are studying me, you, our spirit, our emotions. They don't have emotions. We do. And they want it. They know our emotions connect us to the source. Why do you think we have so much fear propaganda? We always hide the truth. But let me explain to you how reality really works. It works like a radio station and cable TV. These interdimensional beings can only come into our reality if we are on their channel. If they don't have no emotions, that means they're cold-blooded. So when you see people acting like animals or hurting other people, guess what? You just turn the channel to their reality. That's how they come on our world and leave our world.
He's talking about demons. If you're on the same frequency as a demon, they're able to get on your channel and get you to act like an animal. They're able to actually project through you or hack you. So, you know, part of what he's saying is true. They are interdimensional, but there are also other entities that exist physically on this plane that we're in too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to quantify what he's saying. Yes, they are interdimensional, and I'm quantifying everything. I'm paralleling everything scripturally. Yes, there are entities that exist that live in various parts of the world through mountains, caves. There's still giants that operate. There's entities that live underwater, in the woods, so on and so forth. But then there's also interdimensional beings that are also demons that can hack humans. And yes, they don't have emotion because they're demons. The only emotion they have is to torture, torment a vessel that it inhabits. See, some of the fallen angels was relegated to having no bodies, and the Bible describes all of this. So they're forced to roam looking for waterless places, meaning places that don't have the baptism of Christ. And they look to find these places, human vessels, and they use them as portals. And they're able to, you know, use that person so they can feel those things. That's why if you get drunk or high and you like, yo, I wasn't myself, I was wilding, like I don't even know why I did that. That demon, and this is why when you get, like, let's say you get drunk and you get to stumbling and falling all around. That demon, that entity, that interdimensional being don't know how to walk in a human body like that. So once it's able to cross over through the wine and spirits, you use yourself as a medium. Now you stumbling, you fumbling, you're not really yourself. You can't collect yourself because that's a demon that doesn't know how to walk in your shoes. You understand? So yeah, he's actually describing demons, saying they're not demons. No, they're demons. And they have names, they have faces. They can manifest. I don't know if y'all see the Sway Lee Coachella performance. How many of y'all by show of one seen Sway Lee manifest into a demon while he was performing No Type? You seen a demon come out because they can manifest under lenses, under black mirrors, aka cameras. Those demons can manifest. And that's what happened. The cameraman, I might even have that video clip I might even have that video clip. I might show that a little bit later. But Sway Lee, that demon manifested on him. Yeah, so what the gentleman is describing is demons. It's demons. Let's go.
These scientists work with them, and they are studying you. You are not supposed.
There are now 10 American scientists who have either gone missing or died since mid-2024. They all reportedly had access to classified nuclear or aerospace material. Is anybody investigating this to see if these things are connected?
I've seen the report, Peter. I haven't spoken to our relevant agencies about it. I will certainly do that and we'll get you an answer. If true, of course, that's definitely something I think this government and administration would deem worth looking into. So let me do that for you.
Thank you. There are now 10 American scientists who...
Yes, they're all connected. They are literally all connected. Graphic courtesy of Daily Mail showing the connection of each one's. All of their research together, I wouldn't be surprised if all of them were missing underground somewhere and all of them were together. Because you need different scientists from different branches to actually solidify the information. And these people are afraid of the information leaking out. They can't have the public learning that we are the ultra terrestrials and that we have more power than those who claim to be in control of us. They can't have that slipping out. They just can't have that.
The more we dig into this story, the more we find. After urging from the White House, the FBI and other agencies are looking into the deaths or disappearances of these 11 U.S. scientists. One of them is Alabama-based scientist Amy Eskridge. She was openly studying anti-gravity technology when she died in 2022. Her death was deemed a suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but she warned friends ahead of time that her life could be in danger. She spoke.
That's the same way Wilcox went out. Come on, man. Why would these scientists just be doing that to themselves? Why?
Daily with Frank Milburn, a former British intelligence officer, about the threats she was getting, and he believes she was murdered for her work.
I don't believe that she killed herself. I just can't, because I spoke to her 4 hours before and she told me time and time again, I'm not going to commit suicide. I am not going to have an accident. If there's something suspicious about my death, it's because it is.
Milburn shared this text message he received from Eskridge May 13th, less than a month before her death. It says, OBTW, if you see any report that I killed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I overdosed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I killed anyone else, I most definitely did not. The more we dig into this story, the more we find. After urging from the White House, the FBI and other agencies are looking into the deaths or disappearances of these.
And they will call us conspiracy theorists when these people were warning us. They literally warned us before their disappearances. Look, if something happened to me, I didn't do it. And we are considered conspiracy theorists. Let me see. I think I got that Sway Lee clip. Let me backtrack a little bit because you all want to see this. I think I have it. And if I don't have it, somebody just inbox it to me. Somebody just send that joint my way. That'll make it easier. I'm pretty sure I got it somewhere, but I probably collected that when it happened. Around when Coachella happened. So somebody send me that clip if you got it. My Instagram is Nubreed 404. We'll get there. Cause that was crazy.
What if it's not just happening in the U.S.? In China, several scientists have been dying in strange circumstances, sudden illnesses, car crashes, suicides, with their work connected to things like military AI, drones, and even Taiwan invasion scenarios. In one scientist obituary on a state-run website, it reportedly described his death as a sacrifice. China is typically tight-lipped about national security, government, and of course they control the media there. And so far, there is no proof linking these Japanese, Chinese, and U.S. cases. Back at home, the FBI and Congress are looking into a string of disappearances and deaths of scientists and government workers, many who had security clearances and access to defense, nuclear, and space secrets. Some lawmakers say that this is not just a red flag, but it's an alarm. So far, there is no proof that any of these cases are connected or a part of a larger plot. What if it's not just happening in the U.S.? In China, several scientists have been dying in strange circumstances, sudden illnesses, car crashes, suicides, with their work connected to things like military AI.
Yeah, man. It's not just happening in America. Now, I got this Sway Lee clip on from YouTube. I got this Sway Lee clip real quick. Let me show y'all this. Look at this, y'all. I don't want to play the sound because I won't get hit with copyright, but I'm going to try to, hold up. He came out there with a normal face. No, it was Sway Lee. Real 80 says you mean Travis Scott. No, this is Sway Lee. Transformed right there. Listen. That right there. Come on now. You can't say demons ain't real. I watched the performance when it happened. He came out there normal. Some people said, did he have a mask on? No. That camera picked it up. And I believe Sway Lee is married to like a high-ranking witch. And everybody been talking about it. And he's not the only one, man. They listen, they hide a lot of this footage when these people be shape-shifting. You think it's, look, a lot of these performers, when they get on stage, they black out. They're not even there. It's the entity controlling them. It's the entity controlling them, y'all. Yeah. I mean, listen, you can't tell me that's not an evil spirit. This not AI. This none of that. But I remember the Travis Scott Astro World, Joan. That was sick. People with
drones and even.
Yeah, the rabbit hole gets deep, man. This stuff is very real. Look at that. Look, he was normal. He was normal until he wasn't. Look. Look at his face. You can see it. Bro, you can see it while it's morphing. You can see him while he's morphing. He was normal and then he wasn't. Then it wasn't. Look at that. The damn crypt keeper. I'm telling you, man. Those are the interdimensional beings that he's talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A crypt keeper. Tales from the crypt. Somebody said, y'all have to do a deep dive on this. A guy that says, please get this off the screen. I'm telling you. Now, also in other news, y'all, we got to pivot for a second. We got to pivot for a second because all of this stuff that's going on right now is all connected. It's all connected. Trump classifying, reclassifying the use of marijuana, as well as psychedelics, all of this stuff is all connected. Hold on, let's look at this breaking news here.
About rescheduling while we're here, we'll just say what you're doing and the progress that you've made.
Great. Well, Mr. President, today is another promise made, promise kept day. On December 18th, you signed an executive order on increasing medical marijuana and cannabidiol research, and today we delivered on that promise. The Acting Attorney General this morning signed an order that moves into Schedule 3 medical marijuana products that are FDA approved or that are state licensed. This is a giant move forward to implement your promise, and it's actually a campaign promise that you made. You said we're going to move into Schedule 3 to increase the research on these medical products, and just wanted everyone to know that one, you make promises, you keep them, and two, what does Schedule 3 mean for state licensed medical marijuana products? We will begin implementation right away of this order. It does not legalize marijuana. It makes it easy for the researchers to actually study and understand medical marijuana, especially in populations that are using it. We know that 1 in 10 seniors right now use medical marijuana in the past year, and they report that it really helps them, but we don't have the science or the understanding to guide the patients and the doctors, and so both patients and doctors are flying blind without knowing how they interact with other medications because the research has been difficult to do. And so your promise today says those state licensed medical marijuana products are now in Schedule 3, and we expect the research to significantly increase so that we can understand how to guide patients and doctors in this effort. And there will be additional actions that will come this summer to do an expedited hearing for the administrative hearing of the Department of Justice.
You know, this is very interesting timing where now the FDA is reclassifying drugs altogether. Now psychedelics, different drugs are now being able to be distributed in controlled environments, and now they're reclassifying marijuana as less harmful. And I'm gonna just shoot straight from the hip with y'all when I say this. The marijuana that they have out here, especially the medical grade marijuana, it's going to turn the men effeminate. It's going to turn the women masculine. It is not the homegrown marijuana that some of us grew up smoking. It is not. It is government institutionalized chemical germ warfare, and I'm gonna say allegedly with all of that, but people are actually overdosing off of marijuana these days. It's not what you think it is. It's just not. And the fact that all of a sudden, when this great awakening is going on, they're reclassifying all these drugs. It sounds like to me they're trying to keep society high off their rocker. It sounds like to me they're trying to get everybody tweaked out off the Fent breeze. It seemed like to me they want everybody out here wilding out, hallucinating and every damn thing. Zooted out of their damn minds. That's what it sounds like, to try to do what? Stop the awakening. I just don't believe this is all happening for no reason. They're not growing real marijuana. They're not going to be distributing real marijuana with any government sanction. If the government is allowing marijuana to be studied in a way where they can put it out there, it is what it is. They're trying to separate your spirit from your soul. I mean, your spirit from your body. I'm telling you.
For all of marijuana to move into Schedule 3.
And the military is very happy about it, and a lot of people suffering from.
He says the military is very happy about it. Why the military going to be happy about it? Because we at war, man. These people, man, listen, let's hear that again.
Schedule 3.
And the military is very happy about it, and a lot of people.
Why would the military be happy about it? Because this is warfare. This is warfare, man. Everything that is quote unquote even though they didn't say it was legal, but they're loosening the bans. Reclassifying it means they're trying to find new ways to distribute it, tax it, make it more lenient, put it, be able to distribute it in a controlled environment so they can make money. Same thing with the psychedelics. Yeah, they did that in Jacob's Ladder. Somebody says, and can't be blocking weed smokers. If you're a weed smoker, you're a weed smoker. I'm just telling you 9 times out of 10, what you smoking nowadays, it ain't just weed. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you. 9 times out of 10, what you smoking now, it ain't just weed. It's some industrial militarized plant that they've invented, allegedly.
is very happy about it, and a lot of people suffering from big problems, which this seems to be the best answer. They're very happy about it. So the rescheduling is starting, and that's a big thing, rescheduling. They kept saying, what about the rescheduling? And so, great job. I appreciate it. I want to thank...
Yo, they want everybody in America to be high. They want all military veterans to be zooted out of their mind with psychedelics and marijuana, so they don't form any militia when things hit the fan. They want everybody to be zooted and booted, y'all.
Mr. and Mrs. Howard Kessler. He's one of the most successful men in the world, actually, and he had some medical difficulties, and he came upon this by accident in a way, and he said, wow, he had to go through a lot of different medications, and he said this was the one that was much better than anything else. And so he experienced it. He didn't benefit by it other than from the standpoint that he lives a much better life now. So hopefully you don't need it, but if you do need it, I hear it's the best of all the alternatives. But I want to thank Howard Kessler and Michelle Kessler. They really pushed this very hard. These are two people, very straight arrows. They're not into marijuana. They're not into anything. But he found this answer, and he said, he's doing it for other people. And so Howard and Michelle probably, they're watching or they'll be hearing about it. But they worked very hard to get this done. And it's an honor, and you've done fantastically. You all have, and I appreciate it. And
so you got that going on, as well as, we know the reason for that, right? We know the reason why, Trump, we know the reason why they want to keep everybody high, right? We get it. They're trying to slow the awakening down, man. And I also want to share with you all what's going on in Iran, because Trump, we're going to get some quick updates on that so we can, see what's going on with that, because the escalations have continued. Now, I did want to briefly cover that. There's going to be more to basically discuss when it comes to that war. But we're going to just break down some quick updates on what's going on with that. Let's go.
Fury, President Trump says he is looking for an everlasting deal with Iran, but he says it's tough because their leaders are fighting like cats and dogs.
Madeline Rivera joins us live from Washington with all of these details. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning, Ashley and Todd. President Trump indicates he is not rushing to make a deal with Iran because he says infighting within the regime's leadership has complicated negotiating efforts. He says Iran is the one under pressure, arguing their infrastructure could crumble if they don't get their oil moving soon.
they have all new leadership, and they're fighting like cats and dogs for who's going to control. Because we've created a real mess for them. But I also took a little break. I gave them a break. And remember this, I want to make the best deal. I could make a deal right now. Do you know that if I left right now, we had a tremendous success. It would take them 20 years to rebuild, but I don't want to do that. I want to have it everlasting.
Iran's supreme leader now issuing a rare statement denying that Iran's regime has a rift. He says due to the strange unity created among compatriots, a fracture has occurred in the enemy. Cohesion has become even greater and more steel-like, and the enemies will become more wretched and diminished. The enemy's media operations intend to undermine national unity and security. May our negligence not allow this sinister intent to come to fruition. The president suggests the U.S. stands to benefit from the ceasefire, provided Iran does not lay mines on the Strait of Hormuz. And today, the Pentagon will have a press briefing at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. It comes as the president says the U.S. military has hit 75% of its targets in Iran, but he acknowledges the regime may have loaded up a bit during the 2-week hiatus in the fighting. Todd and Ashley.
Okay, Maddie, thank you so much. And the ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel is now extended following a high-level meeting in the Oval Office. And President Trump is hopeful that the leaders of the two countries will soon meet face-to-face. Listen.
We think that the president of Lebanon and the prime minister of Israel over the next couple of weeks will be coming here. They've agreed to an addition.
It's all a show, people. Sometimes I sit here and watch what's going on in the world and it seems like I'm watching SportsCenter. It almost feel like we just watching SportsCenter, another show. And but as you can see, Trump is still trying to convince the American people that the escalations have stopped and Iran is all over the place. Listen, you know, this 2-week hiatus is coming to a halt. And we can expect in up and coming weeks for more breaking stories to come out with the war. So a lot of people was like, Breed, is the war slowing down? What's going on? No. They haven't even reached the tip of the iceberg yet. So, yep, Trump is always lying. If he's talking, he's lying. But anyway, nonetheless, matter of fact, let's full screen it. Listen, brothers and sisters. Oh, I meant to full screen myself. Listen, brothers and sisters, I want y'all to support the work. Support the work. You can support me at nubreedglobaltruth.com. If you are interested in starting yourself a travel business, you know, I already know I offer y'all that opportunity. If you want details on it, go to the website. Also, support me via Cashapp. That QR code down at your right-hand corner, down at the bottom. If you scan that, it leads you right to the Cashapp. Cashapp is Nubreed Global Truth. You know, support the work, brothers and sisters. Support the work because the type of material I'm bringing to the table is very rare, and I'm giving you a different take. We're covering a lot of modern day stories or current events with a biblical explanation, and you don't have too many platforms doing that. So if y'all want to keep this channel growing and you have gained from the platform, support it. It motivates me to continue to doing these live streams. Live streams take a lot out of you. That's why you see I'll do the uploads. I fell back on live streaming because I noticed that I don't have as much support as I see other creators getting from their channels. They go live. People are sending super chats. People are sending cash apps. But for whatever reason, people tend to disrespect righteous work. People tend to disrespect something that's not it's not drama or gossipy, but when it's actually beneficial to your life, then people tend not to support that. I don't understand the mentality of that. However, I am grateful for the ones who do show up and support, but I would like to see more support because there's various initiatives that I work on. There's a lot of time, effort, energy, and research that goes towards what I do. And I would appreciate the support. But nonetheless, it's always an honor and a blessing building with like-minded brothers and sisters. Without you all, it would be no Nubreed Global Truth. And somebody said you weren't a content creator. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm on YouTube. I'm creating content. I don't understand that. I don't know what you mean by that. But we're going to ignore that, Buffalo Soldier. I'm not just a content creator. Maybe you misconstrued what I said. I'm not just a content creator. That's why you would think I got the support, because I'm actually involved in a lot of social activism and actions, not just an advocate, but actually out here doing things. So no, I'm not just a content creator, if that's what you meant to say. But nonetheless, it's always an honor and a blessing building with those of like mind. And we're going to have more material coming very soon. I want y'all to be blessed. Stay safe out there. Good night, everybody. Peace.